Whoa! Another consideration for continuity of community is fuel. What are you guys going to do for fuel? Heating fuel, cooking fuel, vehicle fuel, calories for your equipment. So I bring this up because it's raining here and it's 45 degrees or so. A little gas can and 3 more in the back of the truck, and it's a little bit of firewood that's been split, and I brought up some older arm wood. Arm wood is wood that's about as big around as your arm, that it's good for firewood and not much else. So I brought up that yesterday from Texas, that today will be subjected to the Stihl 029 chainsaw, not the Stihl 066. 066 is way too much saw for cutting firewood, unless you're in a real hurry. But it's cold and rainy today. As you can see, I've been getting rained on. I don't know if you guys can see those clouds up there, but they're up there, and it's been thunder and lightning pretty bad. But so we have, I'd say, that little pile of arm wood right there is probably a week's worth of fuel for intermittent heat and marginal cold. It's not cold here. It's not kill you cold, not by a long shot. Like I said, it's about 45 degrees and I'm wet and I'm okay. But I've also been moving around, which there's a lesson there too. But something else to think about: where are you going to scavenge wood in this city, right, to build a fire? I mean, obviously it's doable, but is it scalable? Not really. In the suburbs, yeah, there's fuel there. You can go get fuel. You can cut firewood. I've cut a lot of firewood in the suburbs. Part of my 6 days ye shall labor mentality is that I trim trees and remove trees for people on the weekends as needed. And tree trimming and tree removal and logging is an excellent source of income. Let me tell you why. Number one, I get paid to take the tree away. Number two, I chip the tops and I get paid to sell that as mulch, or I keep it for myself as mulch. Number three, I cut and split the armwood into firewood and I keep and sell that myself. And number four, any big logs from the base of the trees go to the mill, get cut into boards, and I get paid for that as well. So you make money 4 ways on trees. Now, that being said, don't everybody get up in arms, and because I've heard this 300 times in my life. I have a big old tree in my yard. I know it's worth money. How about you come take it out for me and you can keep the wood? How about no? How about you climb up in the air about 80 foot with a chainsaw and then tell me whether or not it's worth it for the wood? It's not. And put fuel in your trucks and pay your helpers and wear and tear on your equipment and have liability insurance, general liability, public liability, product liability, catastrophic, work comp. How about no? How about I'll do the job that you've asked me to do in exchange for fair compensation, and I'll reap the reward of my labor by diversifying my waste streams and turning them into revenue streams. Roger, Roger. So, we cut wood, which is good. We have wood. I've done quite a bit of it in the suburbs. Big old hawk. Where you going, boy? Oh, wow, I wish you guys had seen that. He was just camped over here by the creek. Now, remember, if you go look at the Adventures of Aspen Eliza episode 1, you will see this part of the creek that I'm about to show you right now. This will show you that it's been raining. See that? There's freaking foam on the creek, man. Usually it's just a little babbling brook, but that sucker's moving. We should probably walk down to the creek crossing and figure out whether or not we're going to town to buy appliances today in our two-wheel drive pickup truck. Something else for continuity of community. Your vehicles that you have, what are they? Because your Subaru Forester might be cool for dropping the kids off at softball practice. I don't know if it's the best SHTF vehicle though. I love that row of pines. Lots of standing water out here today. It has just poured. So, fuel, continuity of community. Fuel, yeah, for sure. Transportation, clothing. I don't think a lot. Wow, okay. We are not going anywhere today. Here's the footbridge. There's the footbridge. It's 4 inches from the bottom of the footbridge. It's overrun the yard behind our house. There's the yard behind our house, dumping back into the creek over here. Right there. That little spillway is the creek crossing. So on my list of things to do this weekend was build a bridge, because terracing through this creek crossing with our personal daily driver vehicles over and over and over again has become kind of a challenge. And the creek crossing has grown from 6 feet to 46 feet. Yeah, that's normally about half the length of a vehicle across there, not the length of about 4 or 5 vehicles. So, bridge building is back on the menu, and going to town to get appliances today is not on the menu. And luckily, Hayden is coming later, and Uncle Matt is coming later. And both of them have 4-wheel drive vehicles. And if they had to, they could park on the other side and take the footbridge in, but vehicles are necessary for the goings-on this weekend. So, fuel. Do you have fuel for your community? Do you have a way to replenish fuel for your community? I keep we'll just call it a lot of the smaller camp size propane canisters, the little like 1 pound bottles. We have Coleman, camp stoves and things like that, and the ones that connect to Coleman lanterns and butane torches, for soldering copper pipe. I keep a lot of them. And we have some 20 pound bottles and some 100 pound bottles in suburbia. I have a lot of firewood in suburbia, like a lot. Like I could heat my house for a couple of years from the fireplace in the living room in suburbia with firewood and no other heat source. And that's intentional. Again, like I said, I'm getting paid to cut the trees. Why not capitalize that waste stream, turn it into a revenue stream, or in this case, a security stream? So, it's raining again. So, firewood, propane, diesel and gasoline. You can keep diesel and gasoline for up to a year if you put Stabil in it, Stabil, or other longevity additives. just rotate your stock. I keep about 20 gallons of fuel on hand, and that's just, I don't know, I've just never had more than that, never seen a need for more than that. If I had a lot of vehicles and a lot of people, I would think it'd probably be a good idea for everybody to have 20 gallons of fuel on hand. It's raining harder now. Let's go stand underneath a tree. Charcoal, we keep a decent amount of charcoal, but like I said, we have wood, and anything you can cook, use charcoal to cook in, you can use wood to cook in. You can also make your own charcoal, and charcoal is good to have if you need to make an improvised water filter. Charcoal is good. There's good stuff. But, you know, obviously also to cook on, it's got its benefits. Thank you, Kingsford. You know who Kingsford was? Kingsford was a business partner of Henry Ford, and Henry Ford, the old Model T wheels were made out of oak. They had all this spare oak from making the wheels for the Model Ts. So Henry Ford needed a way to monetize his waste stream, turn it into revenue, and they came up with the first mass-produced charcoal briquettes. And Kingsford was, like I said, a business partner of Ford. And as a gift to Kingsford, Ford gave Kingsford the charcoal business, and that's where Kingsford charcoal comes from. Ding! The more you know. There, that's a useless fact that you know now. So, what other sources of fuel are there? I mean, if you got really desperate, you could burn some cow manure. I'd recommend against it. But point being, again, getting back to continuity of community, the farther out into the sticks on a place like this you are, farther out into the woods, into the sticks, with a competent team like this you are, the less of an immediate impact you're gonna have, right? Because if I had to, worst case scenario, I could come out here with a bow saw and just cut all the limbs off of this one tree. And that'd be enough wood to heat a home and cook on for a week or two. Just this one tree. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but this is the pasture area. And there's a couple hundred trees out here in the pasture area. We go that way, thousands of trees. So get you a mule and a wood cart, move to the woods with all your best friends, and start cutting wood. Have fuel for your vehicles, have backup fuel for your stoves. Fix these eyebrows. I'm trying to look good for you guys. There we go. There we go. Yes. Ugh. Now that's an Italian insult. I didn't mean to insult you in Italian hand gestures, so that's for you, brain dead. Have some wood. Have a way to cut more wood. Have some propane, fuel for your vehicles, charcoal. Charcoal's good. It's not very expensive. And if you need it in a pinch, there's nothing like it. And if you have some of that, a little bit of charcoal and lighter fluid, you can get like 6 briquettes and make a little pyramid, douse them with lighter fluid, light it, and then stack your wet wood on top of it. I know it's not like Jeremiah Johnson Mountain Man, but it works. And frankly, it's a lot faster than letting your damp wood smolder for a half an hour, 45 minutes before it catches. So the more you know, the less you need. It's something else to consider. We talk about that all the time here, and we're already running long. So for this video, continuity of community, part dos. Actually, this is part trace. I actually filmed the part dos already. But fuel, what do you have? Do you have enough? This is my skeptical face. Probably not. Neither do I. But I can get some, which is kind of the point, right? That's what I've been doing this morning, is just making fuel happen. So, things to consider. I'll see y'all in a bit.